the civil rights movement, and so that got me in the work. But I think how we meet people is we make it real. We bring the
Congressman Johnathan Jackson is joining us in the middle of Tyler's.
We bring the conversations to them, and we make it real. How it relates to them, whether it's local. Like politics is local, and I always say, politics isn't the sexiest of conversations. Yeah. But it's like we got to make it relatable of how it impacts them. Like we talk about the local roads, how the funding from your city council. We're talking about this as we're talking about schools and the funding. It's happening at your state houses, and so making it real and making it relatable is how we're
accessible.
And accessible.
I do want to welcome to the conversation Congressman John Jackson, the son of Johnathan. Forgive me, you don't like John, sorry. Congressman Johnathan
Almost.
He is the son of the great Jesse Jackson and also representing
Illinois' 1st District.
Without an S on the end,
thank you.
I didn't say no damn S.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
You said Illinois.
Anyway,
apostrophe S. Apostrophe S.
I got what you were
What's
saying.
wrong with them?
Anyway, Congressman, we're a very lively bunch tonight, as you can see. But
they started about 3 seconds ago.
Yes, we're so honored to be joined by you. This significant history this year. Bakari referenced earlier. The first presidential campaign I actually remember was your father, Jesse Jackson, in 1984. And my grandmother took me to a rally, and someone said, "Young lady, who are you voting for?" And my grandma said, "Baby, you tell them you voting for Jesse Jackson." And that's what I said. And it just, that time doesn't seem like that long ago, but here we are 40 years later.
Yeah.
What does this convention mean to you?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Bakari.
There's Congressman Meeks and his lovely bride
So we're live, and we're being passed by Congressman Gregory Meeks of New York.
Some legends.
That's Jesse Boy. That's Jesse Boy. That's Jesse Boy, right? That's Jesse Boy.
The people champ.
There goes
we love you.
Love you, Chairman Meeks.
Love you. You gotta come on.
So as we're here, a lot of people are walking by and saying hello. I know you guys can't see it on the cameras,
it's true.
But we have a whole audience and crowd out here. But yes, I want to call you Reverend Jackson, but Congressman Jackson, tell us what this convention means to you.
Yeah. First of all, starting with our soon-to-be chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I have the opportunity to serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee. I met Congressman Meeks almost 30-some years ago. He ran as a Jesse Jackson Democrat out of Queens when he became the congressman from there. It was a tremendous honor. I know somebody. Okay.
That's a little better.
All right. I met Congressman Meeks 30-some years ago when he ran as a delegate, and then for Congress as a Jesse Jackson, specifically Democrat in Queens, New York. And then, Angela, it's been some years now that I had met you with your great family in the Northwest, and I was like, black folks live out here as well.
Right? We all said the same thing.
Her southern roots, though. Her family's from Louisiana, but migrated to the West.
He was as a surrogate to his dad's campaign in 1988. There's a picture of when I'm about 8. And he's leaning over me and kissing me on the cheek, and I got on my Jesse Jackson 88 shirt.
We need to put that in.
We do. It's great.
Angela, her family, thank you for your service and your continued spirit in civil rights. And Bakari, your father, Cleve, is legendary in so many ways.
Yes,
I don't know all the people up here, but I thank you for your
I thought he was going to say, I don't know what happened to you. Sorry, I had to get you back.
One of the questions.
When I was at North Carolina A&T,
I don't know.
Aggie Pride.
Please, Father would come and sit down and talk with us as students. And so this to me is more of a celebration, really, of civil rights. It's not into the politics, and I know it's a political convention and so forth, but 40 years later, what does it mean? My father's real motivation, it was a moral crusade. It wasn't a political crusade. And by the vehicle, it was an empowerment. It wasn't finding a district. It was uplifting the entire network. Why would somebody run for president that never ran for a local office? That it was about a movement. And out of that movement, it was that massive voter registration. And we have to pick that up today. And so in the spirit of Fannie Lou Hamer, 64 to 84 was his foundation. It wasn't a political move. It was massive voter registration, participation, and I hope that the party picks that language back up. Massive voter registration. If we vote our numbers in South Carolina, we'll have another Democratic congressional seat. We'll have another one in Louisiana, another one in South Carolina. We'll have another seat. in Tennessee and a first black to have a seat in Arkansas. We still haven't had an African-American representative in the state of Arkansas.
Wow. A black mayor, though. Mayor Frank Scott out of Little Rock.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, Uncle Jesse, as we called him in our household, because little Jesse used to come over and babysit my brother and sister in Greensboro and all of those things. In his campaign in 84 and 88, he just cultivated so many souls and personalities that went on to do great things. My father was a Southern Regional Field Director and ended up hiring a young lady named Donna Brazile on that race. You have Mignon Moore. You have all of these people. Talk about the impact of your father on the modern-day Democratic Party, because just a lot of people don't even know that his fingerprints are all over everything that we're doing right now.
That's right.
Wow. So if you look at Mignon Moore, I've known her for over 40 years. This is my 10th Democratic convention. Mignon Moore is from Chicago. She worked in the organization of Rainbow Push. She comes out of 84, and now she's the chair of the Democratic convention in the state of Illinois. When you look at Donna Brazile, she went on to become the chair of the Al Gore for President. She came out of the 88 campaign as well. When you look at Dave Dinkins, after the massive voter registration drive, he became the first African-American mayor of New York City. That's true of Doug Wilder, the first African-American governor out of Virginia. David Wellington, the first African-American mayor of a non-black city, majority white city in Denver, Colorado. Right. And it can go on. And when I hear President Barack Obama says that he was inspired when he was in law school, and when Vice President Kamala Harris was a student at Howard University, she was protesting in 1986 for free South Africa, and she gives my father credit for her inspiration, and I have to give myself. I wouldn't be here today, let alone being interested in politics and public office. And I wouldn't say politics, but public office. Us being able to assert ourselves in government to live out the will of our people and our desire.
What advice you got for this young man sitting right here to my right, who is running this youth organization in our DNC that is going to probably be the reason that Kamala Harris wins this race? Young voters, what do you have to say to him about organizing those young minds in a way that you know so well because you grew up in it?
I'm an Aggie too, Aggie pride.
Aggie born and Aggie bred.
And when I die, I'm be Aggie dead.
That's right. I knew there was something brilliant about you.
That's right.
Yeah, he couldn't get in the Morehouse. Go ahead.
Ain't that crazy? But Kari trying to start fights that he ain't gonna be able to finish when he get off the stage.
Uplift.
We will get you an honorary. Don't even worry about it.
What's amazing, I decided to go to North Carolina ANC because of Reverend Jesse Jackson. It was, like I said, I grew up under the leadership of Reverend Al Sharpton, who also grew up under the leadership of Reverend Jesse Jackson. And I'm like, I've always been around the family, and I'm like, I visited the campus, and the impact of Reverend Jackson on the campus was like, I had to come here because I felt the legacy of not only, as we talk about the Greensboro Four, the ANC 4, but also the legacy of civil rights leaders from HBCUs across the land. And I know we got FAMU over in the corner. and so, like I said, Reverend Jackson was my inspiration as well.
I would tell you, be a student of these organizations, be a student of the history so you can make your desired impact. Make sure that you have the affiliation. I'm so honored to see you next to my brother, Bakari. You couldn't learn from anyone greater than that. And see you sitting beside Angela. I mean, surround yourself around the people that already know, that have been down there. And this has legacy, not dynasty, not as in something that whites have where they're passing on, bequeathing wealth to one another. Legacy. We have to be concerned about our names. We have to be concerned about passing on history and tradition. So we're in an infancy part of our struggle in so many ways. We just got an African American History Museum.
Right.
There's so much about our history we're still trying to learn and figure out. So surround yourself with those that have legacy, whose parents have already paid, that taught them. There are some things that happen around these two people's kitchen table that what's it like growing up in the Northwest suburbs and still being an advocate. And guess what? Many great whites are out there that applaud and support these causes. Once they see us moving, they double down. What's it like growing up in South Carolina, having to get over all the issues of Jim Crow? So it's a vast nation, a lot of complexities to the United States. And so I would say continue, and I applaud you. I am so proud to know at your age that you've had your mind made up. This was the furthest thing from my mind, being in public office. I went to business school, not to law school. I was doing private business. And at the age of 56, this opportunity opened up. And I said, what is the highest and best usage of my time? With the days that I have left, let me go run for office. And if of course, I was afraid. If it doesn't work, I failed. But if I don't try, I'll certainly fail. So thank God I was given this opportunity.
Can I say?
Go ahead.
I wanted to say while I'm here at the stage, I'm so grateful for leaders like yourself who continue to pour into the next generation and who continue to, give inspiration. Like as I always see you all doing the great, amazing work that you are doing. You are inspiration to many. I remember I say it all the time when I went with the family, the impacted families, and we were advocating for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, and we had went to like all the senators' offices and we went to the White House. I remember when I was following around Bakari Sellers around there. We was with the George Floyd family and others, and so you all, even the small impacts, even the small things that you do, people are watching, young folks are watching, especially me, and I would say I'm just grateful for your being a great role model, and for paving the way for young folks to come up and to get into this work. So I'm grateful.
We're so grateful for you all for being here.
I got you, man.
Congressman Jackson, Helik, we're so grateful. You all enjoy the rest of the convention.